Shall we, sir?
Just
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute.
Okay,
1 minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. All is ready.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. So very good evening. This is Dr. Bajpayee, and I heartily welcome on behalf of East Maharashtra Forum, iSPELL, in this e-seminar. First of all, I invite Dr. Joseph, sir, today's chief guest speaker, Chair Turkar, sir, Dr. Ghanshyam, sir, founder of iSPELL, Bhora ma'am, Dr. Yogesh Sarode, sir, Dr. Pragyasa ma'am, and all the forum members to please celebrate this event by staying here with us. I warmly welcome you all with a bouquet of words. Thank you. As you all know that we are all members, iSPELL is a society established with a motto, facilitate to elevate the taste and bliss in the field of English language and literature. Considering emerging trends in the field, it is the need of the hour to blend the trends and mend the minds. iSPELL is people's platform to share and impart expertise of renowned academicians and of its members to the fraternity and the stakeholders. The society believes that one can improve and elevate his her abilities once opportunities are made available. Potential is always there. The need is to bring it out from the margin to the center. Friends, as we all know that this year we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which is an initiative of the government of India to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of independence and the glorious history of its people, culture, and achievements. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is a big series of events organized by the government of India. This is being celebrated as a Jan Utsav in the spirit of Jan Bhagidari, and is hard everywhere in organization, government offices, and institutions are requested to facilitate the activities based on this theme. We all have done the same in our institutions. In the same way, our East Maharashtra iSPELL Forum also decided to celebrate this Amrit Mahotsav by organizing e-seminar on Mahatma Gandhi and Indian freedom struggle. And for this, we are pleased to have with us here Dr. S. K. Joseph Sir, Director, Shri Jaminalal Bajaj Memorial Library and Research Center, Sevagram Ashram Pratishthan, Wardha, Maharashtra. Sir will discuss in detail on this topic. I can only say about Gandhi ji and his freedom struggle that Gandhi ji's contribution to the Indian freedom movement cannot be measured in words. He, along with other freedom fighters, compelled the British to leave India. Gandhi ji is not only a freedom fighter, but also a social and economic revolutionary. Gandhiji is not a name, but an idea that incorporates the field struggle, nationalism, and sacrifice. Before start lecture, I just want to say some few words for Dr. Joseph, sir. Dr. Joseph is currently serving as director, Shri Jaminalal Bajaj Memorial Library and Research Center, Sevagram Ashram Pratishthan, Wardha, Maharashtra. His PhD is on Gandhian thought and development studies. He had undergone the international courses on people's diplomacy, non-violence, human governance, and global solidarity, and Italy, organized by the International University of People's Institution for Peace, Rovereto, the Peace Bell Foundation, Rovereto, and the University of Toronto, Italy. He also participated in South Asia level training program on peace, reconciliation, and conflict management in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and took part in the peace mission in the conflict affected areas. He served as a visiting faculty resource person of several reputed institutions. He has more than 20 years of teaching experience and served as Dean of Studies and Research for 15 years of Institute Gandhian Studies, Wardha. He is author, editor of 70 books and 4 monographs, of which 5 books were prescribed as reference prescribed reading for the curriculum of Gandhian thought by universities and institutes of national importance. In addition, 5 publications edited by him were accepted for circulation among libraries in India by Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, Kolkata, established by Ministry of Culture, Government of India. He has published more than 50 research papers in journals, magazines, and as chapters in edited books. His books were published by Tutelac Concept, Manohar, and other publishing house. His most recent writings are Lanza del Vasto, A Messenger of Peace in 2018, Gandhi in South Africa, A Racist of, or a Liberator 2019, and Kasturba Gandhi, an Embodiment of Empowerment 2020. Really, sir, it's proud moment for us to have you here with us. So, I request Dr. Joseph, sir, to please. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. I request Dr. Joseph, sir, to please share your opinions, views, and ideas with us. Over to you, sir.
Joseph, sir, you are muted. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shredas Vajpayee, the event coordinator, for the kind introduction. I consider it as a great privilege and honor to talk to all of you in a very prestigious forum, Indian Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature, especially its East Maharashtra Forum. To be frank, I'm not from the English literature background. In fact, I was a student of economics, history, Gandhian thought, peace studies, and development studies. Therefore, I consider it as my honor and privilege to talk to all of you on this occasion. The topic which is assigned to me is Mahatma Gandhi and India's freedom struggle. When we talk on this subject, a question which comes in my mind, this question is not a new one. This is about a debate on the role of individuals and social factors or social forces in the shaping of history. As we are talking about the freedom struggle, it is a part and parcel of the history of India. See, if I am using the Marxist terminology, it will be between subjective and objective forces in shaping the course of human history. This debate is not at all new. We can see this debate even in the classical works like Mahabharata. Therefore, the question before us is a very old In Mahabharata, it is said, the question has been raised, whether the king or prevailing social institutions have greater say in the evolution of history. Mahabharata tries to settle this question or issue by saying that both of them have their own role in the evolution of history. Even among the modern historians, the view prevails that both individual and social factors have their own roles to play, which are very difficult to quantify. Here, we are making an attempt to understand and reflect the role played by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in India's struggle for freedom and in the shaping of the Indian history. I had the opportunity to deal with this question long back when I was delivering a keynote address at Benares Hindu University in 2018. And when I am asked to reflect on India's freedom struggle and Gandhi's role, it accidentally came into my mind, that discussion. See, if you are looking at the history of India, we cannot ignore the role of saints and sages in shaping Indian history. All of them did some sort of foundational work for the great culture and tradition of this country. There we can refer to Adi Shankaracharya and a group of scholars and thinkers like Ramanujacharya, Vallabhacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and others had their own special contribution to the ever-flowing stream of Indian culture. Once they were followed by medieval saints and poets like Kabir, Guru Nanak, Tulsidas, Dadu, and others, who courageously faced the challenges of their times. They made serious attempts to tune the context of Indian society to the spirit of their age. The fact of the matter was that they were trying to find a way out from the Hindu-Islamic encounter. In the process, they spoke vigorously against the caste system and pleaded for a kind of composite culture based on conciliation between the Hindu and Islamic ethos. Why I am referring to these facts? Because we are passing through a very difficult period. Even after the 75 years of independence, the country is divided on the basis of religion, caste, region, and so on. See, when we are talking about the Indian history and the freedom struggle, we cannot forget the religious and political awakening that happened in this country and the birth of Indian National Congress. You see, India was faced with the problem of cultural domination as it went down under some of the Western colonial powers like Portuguese, Dutch, French, and finally the British. All these encounters with the Western culture and civilization posed new challenges before India. And it was in the context of all these factors, we have to look into the Indian freedom struggle. I'll say the foundation of Indian National Congress in 1885 as a major step. Indian National Congress was founded by the top elites of this country: Firoz Mehta, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Mahadev Govind Radne, W.C. Banerjee, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandrapal, and others. Subsequently, we will look into the history. We will see another group led by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandrapal, that we popularly known as Bal Lal Pal. See, all these people and the formation of the Indian National Congress played a very important role in the freedom struggle of this country. See, there is a group of extremists, there is a group of moderates. It was in this context Gandhi is coming to the picture. See, as all of you know, Gandhi, after completing his course of studies here, he went to England for the law studies. After that, he went to South Africa, where he felt with the question of racial discrimination. And Gandhi stayed for more than 20 years in South Africa, was a turning point in the life of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. There he developed a new weapon of struggle known as Satyagraha in 1906. A inner temple lawyer turning into a Satyagraha. That is what we witness in South Africa. After coming back to India in 1915, he established the ashram at Kochrab, and later it was shifted to the Sabarmati. While he was in Sabarmati, in the transnational phase of Sabarmati, he took the first struggle for the indigo farmers. That was the first struggle of Gandhi in the Indian soil. That is popularly known as the Champaran's Satyagraha. Then it was followed by Kheda Satyagraha. That in Champaran was in Bihar. Then we are seeing that Gandhi is moving to Kheda district of Gujarat, where the farmers were facing untold miseries due to failed crops in the wake of famine, and they are demanding for remission from paying land revenue. And it was followed by Ahmedabad mill workers strike. And the most important struggle which Gandhi led at the national level is the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Rowlatt Satyagraha is also significant because the Jallianwala Bagh was a great lesson for Gandhi. There we can see a person who was labeled as a supporter of the British Empire is turning into a rebel and declaring non-cooperation movement. See, if you are looking into the history of the freedom struggle, we can see three major struggles. The first one is the non-cooperation movement, which started in the year 1920. The second one is the Salt Satyagraha, or the Dandi March, or civil disobedience movement. And the last and final one was the Quit India movement. First, we will start with the non-cooperation movement. See, we have celebrated or commemorated the 100 years of Chauri Chaura incident in 2021. I have deliberately used the word both celebrated and commemorated. As teachers of English language, we know that because these days every occasion has become a celebration. All of us remembered the horrors of violence that happened in Chauri Chaura, which was a part of the non-cooperation movement. But in the commemoration, what was missing is that Gandhi was altogether ignored or silenced in the whole process. There was no mention about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who led the non-cooperation movement. And the episode took place at Chauri Chaura. More than 100 years was a part of this movement. And also the emphasis, unfortunately, is on violence and not on non-violence. Therefore, I appreciate this forum to discuss about Gandhi and India's struggle for freedom. See, non-violence was a lifetime commitment for Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, both in his personal life and the public life. It was developed in the course of his fight for the rights of Indian people, or the people of Indian origin in South Africa. And it was further strengthened by his course of struggles for the Indian independence. We need to understand the importance of non-cooperation movement in the historical context. It was for the first time since the brutal suppression of the first war of independence, which took place in 1857. The Indian people launched the non-cooperation movement for attaining Swaraj on a massive scale. The deteriorating economic situation after the end of Second World War created a anti-government sentiments among the people. The Home Rule movement started by Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Khilafat wrongs, Government of India Act of 1919, and Jallianwala Bagh massacre provided a fertile ground for the development of desire for Swaraj in all sections of population. And these factors finally paved the way for non-cooperation movement. You see, it was during this period Gandhi is taking the leadership of the Indian National Congress. When Gandhi took the leadership of the Indian National Congress, he changed the very nature of the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was an elitist organization. When Gandhi took the leadership of Indian National Congress, he made it a mass organization. And all the movements, whether it is the non-cooperation movement, whether it is the salt satyagraha, whether it is the Quit India movement, all these were mass struggles which ultimately paved for the freedom of this country. See, in September 1920, Gandhi presented his plan of non-cooperation movement at the special session of Indian National Congress in Calcutta. It was decided that the non-cooperation movement would be formally launched in August 1, 1920. Those who know the history, this was the day a great Indian leader, Lokmanya Tilak, passed away. Many people fasted to pay tributes to the memory of Tilak and took part in demonstrations and hartals as part of the non-cooperation movement. With the passing of the Tilak, Gandhi became the undisputed leader of the Indian National Congress. The annual convention of the Congress held at Nagpur in December unanimously approved the movement. It was in the Nagpur session, the Congress adopted its new constitution, duly drafted by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And even the resolutions which passed in Nagpur is significant. They passed the resolution for the removal of untouchability, revival of Khadi, and collection of 1 crore rupees as Tilak Memorial Fund. Gandhi was of the view that if the movement is effectively carried out throughout this country, India will win Swaraj within a year. See, Gandhi electrified this nation with a new slogan, which so far hitherto never heard in the history of this country: Swaraj within an year. People from all walks of life took part in the movement. Students boycotted schools, colleges run by the government. People boycotted government institutions and offices. Thousands of lawyers left the legal practice. Motilal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Chittaranjan Das, Rajgopal Achari, and others were prominent among them. See, it was not only non-cooperating, it led to the birth of new institutions, even as because we are basically this forum is of teachers. Three major educational institutions started during this period as alternative institutions. Gujarat Vidyapith, founded by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi himself. Jamia Millia Islamia, Tilak College, Bihar Vidyapith, Kashi Vidyapith. All these institutions were set up as when the students were asked to boycott the schools and colleges, which Gandhi considered as citadels of slavery, and Gandhi wanted to place before the people alternative institutions, those who have boycotted these institutions, and free themselves from the bondage of British colonial rule. And this movement created tremendous impact in this country. As a result, mass imprisonment of people began. Tens of thousands of people were jailed for alleged violations of law. Many leaders like Motilal Nehru, Chittaranjan Das, Maulana Azad, Lala Lajpat Rai, Jawaharlal Nehru, all these stalwarts were imprisoned. On February 1, 1922, Gandhi informed the Viceroy that he intended to initiate civil disobedience in Bardoli, a small tahsil in Surat district in the Bombay presidency of those days. There was no Gujarat those days. See, on 2nd February 2022, 1922, as a part of the non-cooperation movement, volunteers under the leadership of a retired army soldier, namely Bhagwan Ahir, protested against the high food prices and liquor sale at Chauri Chaura in Gorakhpur district in the United Provinces. Now it is in Uttar Pradesh. The protesters were badly beaten by the local police, and several leaders were detained at Chauri Chaura police station. In response to this incident, around 2,000 to 2,500 people marched to the marketplace on February 4th to express their protest. The protesters picketed the roadside liquor shop. Subsequently, the police tortured and arrested their leader and was imprisoned. A group of protesters gathered in front of the local police station, demanding the release of the leader. Another group continued to protest and raised anti-government slogans. Police fired in the air in an attempt to disperse the crowd. Then the unfortunate incidents started. The mob started throwing stones at the police. To control the situation, the sub-inspector in charge of the police directed the police to open the fire. 3 were killed instantly and several were injured. That made the provocation. The enraged mob stormed the police station and set the station on fire. In this unfortunate incident, 22 policemen were burned to death at the station. Mahatma Gandhi was saddened by the silent turn of the events and changed his whole plan of action. He circulated a private letter to the members of the working committee indicating this change, because I have referred to you earlier that he was planning to start the civil disobedience movement. Despite the nationwide momentum created by the non-cooperation movement and consolidation of the people throughout the country, the movement was abruptly halted at the national level. As the leader of the movement, Gandhi took the moral responsibility for the outbreak of violence. Nehru described the halting of the movement as a setback and said it extremely demoralized the workers who were in jail. But Gandhi was not ready to make any compromise on the question of non-violence. He cannot and he could not agree with the arguments of his friends and colleagues and co-workers in the freedom movement. Gandhi was convinced about the decision, and this was very much reflected on his writings. And for the confession of the error, he decided to undergo the penance, and the rest is history. Everybody knows it. He withdrew the movement, and there was no looking back. Even after withdrawing the movement, he was preparing himself for a major movement, equipping the people of the country for another major movement that is known as the civil disobedience movement, or Salt Satyagraha, or the Dandi March. See, this was a new method of conflict resolution. The people, even the Congress, was not fully convinced the efficacy of this movement. Going to Dandi and picking up with a band of marches, what will happen? People could imagine Gandhi's this moment. Look at the symbols which Gandhi selected. Salt is a thing which is common to all the people of this country, and everybody knows. If you cannot imagine a day when food is served without, this was a symbol. This was a symbol, and it was a declaration of the independence of this country. Gandhi, with his trusted lieutenants of 78 people marched from 12th March 1932, 6th April 1930. A direct nonviolent action, nonviolent revolt, or a campaign of tax resistance, because he is civilly disobeying the law through which the Britishers, the tax, the common man, which is required by everybody. And nobody could imagine the strength of the struggle. This was a fight against the mighty British Empire. The mighty British Empire could not imagine the strength of his movement. It was not just the breaking of the salt law. In the course of his travel of 385 kilometers, he stopped at every point and explained to the people the concept of Swaraj, the problems which the country is facing. And it was an all-round struggle. What he has done is, Gandhi had an uncanny knack of taking a small issue and from the momentum it gathers, he looks at the larger issue which the society or the country which is facing. And the British government realized the danger, and the leaders were arrested. Gandhi was arrested on the midnight of 4th or 5th May 1930, just before the planned action at Darshana. As a result of this moment, it was not limited to Gandhi. Throughout the country, the movement took place. All over the country, people broke the salt law. Even where there was no place, they have done it. Because there are places where there is no immediate seashore. Even in such places, and this moment, especially the ensuing, the Darshana's salt satyagraha, drew the worldwide attention. See, even the people who reported could not withstand the terror the British government unleashed to the satyagrahis. One by one, the satyagrahis were coming. Even if you look into the rolls created by the British government, you can very well see how this movement went on. You cannot see it for a quite long. Such a terror, as a result of it, created the worldwide attention. And negotiations took place. And later, Gandhi was released, and that led to the second roundtable conference. Then comes the third most important struggle, That is the Quit India movement. Before that, I should also mention about the constructive program. You may having in mind that constructive program is a program launched by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in 1940s. But if you are looking into the history of constructive program, we can see that it was a part and parcel of Gandhi's movement, starting from the Champaran Satyagraha. A reference about it has already been made when I talked about the Champaran Satyagraha. Because when he started the movement, he realized that a work of a permanent nature in Champaran would not be possible without intervening in constructive program, and Gandhi started the educational program and also health program. 6 schools were started by Gandhi. I'll not go into the history of the movement. See, constructive program, there are 2 elements. One is the struggle, and along with that, Gandhi placed before the nation the constructive program, even though it was announced as a program in 1940s. See, even if you look at the constructive program, even today, I am of the view that they are still relevant. For example, the communal unity. See, looking into the communal tension and the religious divide that is prevailing in this country, the first item is of great significance. The caste, the second item is the removal of untouchability. The recent incidents which took place in this country in the name of the caste is so ashamed. A student cannot take water. We are living in the 21st century. What is happening? You see, the question of prohibition, the survival of khadi and village industries, village sanitation. The Prime Minister of the country has to announce Swachhata Abhiyan. Even after 75 years of independence, even after many years, we are not able to reach the goal. Basic education, empowerment of women, national language. In the name of language, we are now dividing the people. See, health, hygiene. See, health and hygiene is highly discussed in the corona pandemic situation. Then economic equality. See, what is the situation prevailing in this country? The whole resources of the country is pocketed by a elitist group, which are few in number. The gap between the rich and the poor is the situation of the labor, the situation of Adivasis, the situation of the students. It is still significant to look at the constructive program. Because of the paucity of time, I will move to the very important moment, that is the Quit India movement. See, we have observed the 80th anniversary of the Quit India movement on August 9. See, while observing the Quit India movement, we should remember what is the true message of Quit India movement. At that time, it was the British should quit the India. I was in Kerala along with Mahatma Gandhi's great grandson Tushar Gandhi in an event in a college coinciding with the 95th anniversary of visit of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi to that college. There he had given a call for quit the politics of hatred. You see, we are living in a period where the political forces, the corporate bodies, they are spreading the venom of communal disharmony and divide and rule policy. Therefore, it is very important to recollect about the Quit India movement. I think it is very significant that the Quit India movement, the very name Quit India came from Yusuf Meher, a nationalist leader. See, I have specifically mentioned the name of Yusuf Meher. Sorry for mentioning whether the religion of mentioning the religion, because everything now it is linked with the religion. And if you are looking into the whole history of the Quit India movement, there the people fought together. There were no Muslims, there were no Hindus. They were united as Indians. When we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of and remembering the role played by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in India's freedom struggle, that is the message. See, who played the role? When Gandhi gave the clarion call of do or die. See, he said, here is a mantra. What is that mantra? A short one that I give you. You may imprint it on your hearts and let every breath of yours give expression to it. The mantra is do or die. We shall either free India or die in the attempt. We shall not live to see the perpetuation of our slavery. Therefore, we should understand the significance of the mantra, Karenga ya Marenga. It is not just do and die. See, it should be remembered that Arina Asaf Ali and other firebrand leaders, when Gandhi was arrested, and all of you know the history when Gandhi was arrested. It was through the effort of Arina Asaf Ali and other who went underground when the senior leaders were arrested. And the Quit India movement was the final blow on the British Raj. And they realized that you cannot continue this country in this way. That finally led to the independence of the country. Unfortunately, the country was divided into both Pakistan and India. There is also a tendency on the part that the rewriting of the history that Gandhi is responsible for the partition. But if you are looking into the facts, we can see that Gandhi was deadly against the partition of this country. And Gandhi was not happy with the way in which it was. When the August 15, we just remembered, where was Gandhi? Gandhi was in Calcutta, bringing the warring communities together. Gandhi was in Hassan Mansour. We should not, when we analyze the Indian freedom struggle, it is not merely the contribution of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. It is the contribution of the people of this country. What is Gandhi's contribution is that he could evoke the spirit of freedom in the minds of the people. You see, it was during the last phase of Gandhi when a message, Gandhi gave the message, my life is my message. It is a message for the posterity. And a person like Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi only could give such a message. And I am looking at the time. I know that the time allotted to me is almost over. I thanks once again for the great opportunity to discuss with all of you and in this August meeting. And we are observing the 75th anniversary of India independence. For a post year, there will be more celebrations. And I wish all the best for the East Maharashtra Forum and its initiative. Thanks once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable knowledge. Really, apart from our English language and literature subject, we got to know the history of independence much today. It's our pleasure that we had an opportunity to hear you, and this will surely be encourage us in our future events. Thank you once again. Now I invite if any one of you want to ask any question to Dr. Joseph, sir. One question is here, sir. How would you define Satyagraha?
See, for Gandhi, Satyagraha was a way of life. Literally, it means insistence on truth. But it was an ever evolving concept for Gandhi. When Gandhi was asked to write a treatise on Satyagraha, he refused to write a treatise because he knows that when you write a treatise, it will be the end of the subject. If you are looking at the Satyagraha struggles of Gandhi, we can see that it was an ever evolving one. It has, in the Indian scene, we have seen the non-cooperation movement. We have seen the civil disobedience. We have seen the Quit India movement phase. We have seen the individual Satyagraha. We have seen the most potent part of Satyagraha, that is the fasting. That is the large weapon in the armory of a Satyagrahi. But Satyagraha could not be limited as a method of combat. It is a way of life, leading a life in tune with non-violence. It is Gandhi called it as the art of living and art of dying. Art of living for a non-violent cause, a non-violent way of life, and art of dying for a noble cause, inflicting the suffering on others. And it is a very interesting subject. See, it is considered as the most important method of conflict transformation or conflict resolution. See, what is significance in Satyagraha? Here, the fight is not against a person. The fight, he loves the opponent. There is no enemy in a Satyagraha. You love the opponent and there is no enmity, and you are trying to convert the heart of the opponent by undergoing all sufferings on inflicting. It is a joint search for truth. because it is based on an understanding of Gandhi's truth. Gandhi talks about two kinds of truth. One is the relative truth. The other is absolute truth. Gandhi was of the view that the truth which the human being can realize is the absolute truth. Therefore, on the basis of relative truth, human being, because of the inherent limitations of the instruments of cognition, we cannot achieve the absolute truth. What we achieve is the relative truth. With this relative truth, we cannot impose the truth which I realized at this moment upon the opponent. Therefore, he is ready to inflict suffering on himself. Because if you are in the beauty of Satyagraha is that you are expecting a change from the opposite also can ever ready to dialogue. Even if now you see, if you are looking at Gandhi, now you see every time, even the people who have not agreed, who have not kept the words, Gandhi is ever ready for dialogue, discussion. Satyagraha is not merely a combat. It is also, one should remember that Gandhi was not offering Satyagraha when all methods of persuasion, discussion, petitioning were failed. Gandhi resorted to the Satyagraha. And Gandhi resorted to fasting, the last and the most potent weapon of Satyagraha on a very unusual occasion. But these days, the first thing is the fasting. That is against the very spirit of Satyagraha. It is a very interesting subject. I wrote a piece, a book which is to be released, which was edited by me, Why Gandhi, that is going to be released on September 3rd, I think. There I have contributed a chapter, Satyagraha as a technique of conflict resolution or conflict transformation. If somebody is interested, I will be happy to share that article. It's a very lengthy article, and it's the concept of Satyagraha needs deliberation. Even though you have raised that question, I thought it will be, I will give a very brief answer to the query. Thank you for asking a very important question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful, sir. Anyone? I think all are satisfied, sir. You really justified the topic, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Before the thank you, sir. And now before the chairperson's speech, I would like to give an introduction of today's chairperson, Dr. Virendra Turkar, sir. Dr. Virendra Turkar is working as an assistant professor of English at Yashwantrao Chauhan Arts and Commerce Science College, Lakhandur, affiliated to RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He has done MPhil from Guru Ghasidas Central University, Bilaspur in 2007. He completed his PhD in 2016 from RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur on the study of Ernest Hemingway's fictional world in the light of criticism. He has participated and presented papers in state, national, and international conferences. He has published in reputed peer-reviewed international and UGC care-listed journals and contributed a chapter to a book. He has also worked as a member on an editorial board of an international peer-reviewed journal, Vidya Varta, for the publication of a special issue. His area of interest is the study of optimism in literary works. He has delivered lectures as a resource person in seminars and also conducted workshops. Now he is the convener of East Maharashtra Forum of iSPELL India at present. Now I'd like to invite here Dr. Turkar sir for today's program chair speech. Please, Turkar sir, it's over to you.
Thank you very much for such wonderful introduction of mine. And first of all, here I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks towards the resource person, speaker of today's event, Dr. Joseph sir, who offered us such a valuable information regarding the Indian freedom struggle with special respect to Mahatma Gandhi. Sir, you are right. Today everyone is celebrating, but I think we have forgotten to observe or commemorate the important incidences that took place during the period of Indian freedom struggle. And you reminded us of those important moments that took place. We are really very much thankful to you, sir, for such a precious information, Mahatma Gandhi, and the important information of those moments that led us to golden achievement of Indian freedom. While talking of Mahatma Gandhi, you started with his journey to England, where he went for education. Then he came back to India and then went to South Africa. South Africa is really a turning point of his life, as you mentioned. We all know the incidents of that humiliation which Gandhi had to suffer while traveling in a train, how he was pushed out of the train in the chilling cold. And there he did fight against this sort of discrimination. It was in South Africa in 1906, as you mentioned, that he found out the weapon, unprecedented, totally new, novel way of fighting against injustice, against racism, that is satyagraha. You very well define it, sir, satyagraha. And from that time onwards, Gandhiji decided to raise his struggle against the impartiality, against the discrimination, injustice, exploitation. And then he came back to India. In India, when he came, first of all, he went through the different parts of our country to understand the situation, as he was advised by his mentor, Gokhaleji. You said, sir, that he changed the leadership. You know, in Congress, what was happening earlier, before the arrival of Gandhi, everybody was, every leader, but just focusing on words, on his or her speeches. They were not concentrating on what the masses needed. It was Gandhiji who identified the need of the people, urge of the people, what the people wanted, and he did, and he started to address the issues of common man, common masses, and from that onwards, we see that a great change occurred. Gandhiji's most important contribution, as you mentioned, sir, that he brought the people, he motivated the people to take part in the Indian freedom struggle movement. Earlier, what would happen? People, common people, were away from the certain movements which were started by the leadership of Congress. But Gandhiji recognized this thing and he brought that common man in the mainstream of Indian freedom struggle. He encouraged or he motivated them with his own action-based leadership. So this is the most important contribution, that each and every man of our country became a part of Indian freedom struggle movement, irrespective of caste, religion, province, gender. Everyone became active. So it was Mahatma Gandhi who activated them, and this is the most important contribution we can say Gandhiji made in the Indian freedom struggle movement. It is very important for us to know about all these things. Just having one symbol in our hand, we can't say that we are observing or we are commemorating the Indian freedom struggle. So talked of non-cooperation movement. Here, the one important aspect of Gandhi's personality becomes visible, or that we come to know, that he was adamant with his principles of non-violence and truth. That Chauri Chaura incidents took place. And what happened? He took the decision to withdraw the movement. The big leaders like Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, were not happy with the decision of Mahatma Gandhi. They tried to put a sort of pressure on him to continue with the movement as the people were giving good response. But Gandhiji was not ready to make compromise on the principle of truth and non-violence. And he remained firm with his decision. And the other leaders had to accept it because of the great influence of Mahatma Gandhi on Indian freedom struggle movement and the big support he had the big support of people he had across the country. They had to accept it. So here becomes what is important: truth and non-violence. This is really an unprecedented weapon he introduced. As we know that Richard Attenborough made a movie on Gandhi when a shooting was going on in some part of our country. One director went to Richard and asked him, there are a number of great leaders, kings, warriors in the history of mankind across the world. Why did you choose Mahatma Gandhi as a hero for your movie? He gave a very interesting answer. He said that, yes, you are right. There are a number of great people, great leaders, warriors, kings in the history of mankind. But why did I go for Mahatma Gandhi as a hero for my movement? You know, because Mahatma Gandhi is the only great person who fought against injustice, discrimination, slavery with the help of truth and non-violence, without shedding of blood. He raised his movement and brought freedom in the lap of Mother India. And that is why I went for Gandhi. This was his answer. So truth and non-violence, really. And we have seen the impact of his movement, the impact of his satyagraha. Even the great people like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and there are so many people, whether it is Aung San Suu Kyi or Albert Schweitzer, we have seen that they accepted his way, his satyagraha. And the people who oppose Gandhiji, who criticize Gandhiji badly, they also followed the principle of Gandhiji's truth and non-violence for raising struggle against injustice. Even today, we see that with Satyagraha, farmers made the government bow down. So this is the impact of his personality, his work, and the same, you also focused on that. You also talked of other movements like Dandi March. Dandi March, what do we get from Dandi March? Or how did he influence the Indian freedom struggle movement? By addressing a small issue, he enlightened the people of our country. He inspired the people of our country. He activated the people of our country with that simple incidents. And that it was not limited to Dandi. The people across the country joined in that movement, and the whole country was moved. So this is the way by which Gandhiji used to influence the people of our country. You also talked of Quit India movement. How crucial! I think as you said, that it was the most crucial movement in the Indian freedom struggle, where Gandhiji openly declared that now the Indian people are not are not ready to accept your rule. So go away, just leave us and let us rule. So these are the certain movements which were started by Mahatma Gandhi and which played a crucial role in Indian freedom struggle movement. You talked of all this, you really gave us very valuable information, sir. We are really you, thankful to you for saying. And thank you very much, organizers, for giving me an opportunity to chair the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Really, sir, Gandhiji's contribution to the Indian freedom movement cannot be measured in words. Thank you so much, Dr. Turkar, sir, for your valuable note speech and kind support. Now, I request Dr. Pragyasa ma'am for a certificate presentation as token of love and honor. Please, ma'am.
First of all, I extend a very warm good evening to everyone present. It was a long lecture and very informative lecture. I would say it was a talk not only on Mahatma Gandhi, but a vision Gandhi, the idea Gandhi, as well as I would say that discipline Gandhi, principle Gandhi, which under its leadership led this country to awake in the real sense and bring freedom to our country. It's my honor and privilege to have been given this opportunity to felicitate, in fact, the dignitaries and perform this certificate distribution. It's my honor to present the certificate of participation to the Yes, it is my honor here to present the certificate to Dr. Siby Joseph, sir. Sir, your presentation was very excellent. You kept joining the dots from first to the last and each and everything and kept sharing small things and made the lecture so interesting and informative. I thank you, sir, and congratulate you. So please accept this certificate. So next, please. I feel happy and honored to present this certificate to Dr. Shweta Vajpayee, ma'am. She has excellently coordinated the event, and she here I could see that she was performing two functions, MOC as well as Master of Ceremony as well as event coordinator. Ma'am, you have coordinated the things so well. You have presented before us, brought before us such a wonderful speaker. Thanks for it, and I congratulate you. Please accept the certificate.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Here, I am honored to present the certificate proudly to Dr. Virendra Turkar, sir, the chairperson of the event. Sir has been so cooperative and so enthusiastic. He's working so hard to organize these activities. And I would say I'm so sorry, due to some of my personal appointments, I could not be in connect in between. But here we are. I'm back again, sir. Congratulations to you, and please accept this certificate.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. Thank you, ma'am. I hope Master of Ceremony, Dr. Sopan Bondre, due to some reasons, was not able to do his duty, perform his duty. So congratulations to one and all once again for performing such a wonderful, organizing such a wonderful program. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shweta, ma'am. It's over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all. Now, at last but not least, we have come to the final stage of the program, vote of thanks. But before this, I am thankful for the forum to give me this opportunity to fill the stage and coordinate this event. Thank you. On behalf of East Maharashtra iSPELL Forum, I extend a really hearty thanks to our chief guest speaker, Dr. Joseph, who has spent time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you so much, sir. I am grateful to Dr. Virendra Turkar, sir, for accepting our request and overall encouragement. Thank you, sir. I am thankful to Dr. Yogesh Sarode, sir, for his support and presence. Thank you, sir. I am thankful to Dr. Ghanshyam, sir, for kind support and encouragement. And I am thankful to Dr. Pragyasa, ma'am. I also extend thanks to the technical support, all forum members, students for their enormous cooperation. Really, I am short of words for your involvement. Once again, big thank you to each one who are directly, indirectly involved here and made this event successful and memorable. And with the permission of the chair, I declare that today's program is over. Have a nice time. See you soon. Namaste.